Welcome to Module 1. Welcome to Module 10.1, Cartesian Coordinate System. So in this lecture video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about graphing and labeling our order pairs. So this thing called the Cartesian Coordinate System, you might have learned this in school before, probably in high school, was developed by René Descartes, who lived from 1596 to 1650. So René Descartes developed this Cartesian coordinate system for solving geometric problems. Okay, he was using this for geometric problems using algebra. So he based his system on a relationship between points in a plane and ordered pairs of real numbers. Okay, so the Cartesian coordinate system, we normally call them the x and y. A point has an x value and a y value. Okay, so normally I use the word point. Sometimes I use the word in order pairs or coordinates. Okay, so this is actually referring to two dimension. Okay, so basically what the Cartesian coordinate system has an x-axis and a y-axis. So x-axis is referring to one dimension. Y-axis is actually another dimension. So this is actually referring to as two-dimensional plane, basically. So because one-dimensional is actually not a plane, but actually a straight line. Okay, so a plane is actually, the word plane is actually like a surface. Okay, one surface is actually has two directions, left and right, and up and down. You can think of it that way. All right. So a three-dimensional object always is actually just with another axis, which is normally we call them x and y and z axis. Those are three-dimensional planes. All right. So the screen you're looking at when when you're watching this video, you're watching it on a two-dimensional surface. Okay, left to right and up and down. All right, so within the Cartesian coordinate system, we have quadrants. The first quadrant is to the right and above, where both the x value and the y value are positive. Second quadrant is to the left of the origin, but still above it, negative x value and the positive y value. The third quadrant, to the left and below the origin, negative x and y. And the fourth quadrant, all right, is to the right and below the origin, where the x value is positive, y value is negative. So think of your x-axis and your y-axis like two different number lines. So the origin is actually where the x value and the y value are both 0. Okay, so x means go to the right or go to the left based on positive or negative. Y value means go up or down. All right, so let me give myself a point. So the first thing I want to show you is plotting some points, okay, on the Cartesian coordinate system. So if you never learned this before, okay, let me just show you how to do this. So the first number, this point A, the very first value is x value that tell me go right or left. The second number tell me to go up or down next. What do I mean by that? Well, every point is always plotted from the origin. You're always starting from the origin. So when the x value says 1, we go to the right one. And then the y value says 6. So we go to the right one and up 6. So that point right here must be my point A, where the coordinate says 1, 6. Remember, this 1, 6 is only one point. I have seen students done to the right one, put a point there, and then up 6, put another point there. That's actually 2 points, not just one. So a coordinate, okay, or a point, you go to the right and left first, then up and down based on what the x value and the y value says. So for my point B, -5, -6 means starting from the origin, we will go to the left 5 first and then go down 6. So that must be that point right here. All right, so what does this have got to do with quadrants? The coordinates kind of put this point in certain quadrants. So when the x value and the y value are both negative, okay, that means I will end up to be in the third quadrant. So for us right now, quadrant is giving us a guide on where my points or where my ordered pair is going to end up at. So -2, -3, starting from the origin. First number tells me to go to the left 2 and then down 3. 1, 2, 3. That will be right here. Okay. All right. Now this example, okay, want me to identify the coordinates. Very important problem. I'm going to show you. Point A. How do I get to point A? So starting from the origin, okay, let's see how we end up at point A. So to go to point A, I got to go to the left. Let me put a dot right here. Let me put my point back. I got to go to the left to go to point A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To the left 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4. I got to go down 4. So left 6. And then down 4. So the y value got to be -4. All right, point B is located in the 4th quadrant. So to get there from the origin, I got to, let me see if I can drag it. I'm froze a little bit. All right, well, it's all right. Let me just use my cursor. All right, to go to point B, I got to go to the left, go to the right. 1, 2, 3. Right 3 and down 1, 2. Right 3 and down 2. So that will be +3 for x value and -2 for the y value. All right, to end up with point C. All right, go to the left 1, 2, 3. I only go to the left 3 places. So that means my x value is -3. But what about my y value? Well, since I never had to go up or down once I went to the left 3, then my y value got to remain as 0 because on the origin, okay, both x and y values are 0. So if I only go to the left, then my x value will change, but my y value got to remain as 0. All right. So let me add another point up here, okay? Let me add another point right here. Let's call that a D, for example. So starting from the origin, if I want to go to point D, I do not go right or left. I simply go straight up 7 places. So since I do not have to go right or left, then my x value is still going to be 0. So remember, we're thinking about 2 different directions at the same time, okay? Left and right, then up and down. So if I go straight up 7 places, I reach my point D. So that'll be 0 for x, 7 for the y value. Okay, so what that means is, let me bring this point back down. If I go to, so if I, starting from the origin, if I only go to the right, 1 place, 2 place, 3 place, 4 place, the only number that's changing, okay, the only number that's changing is my x value. My y value got to remain as 0 because if I just walk along the x-axis, okay, if I just walk along the x-axis, the x value is what's changing. All right, but my y value got to remain as 0. So let's go ahead and write this down, okay? Very important concept we will need later on. On the x-axis, basically, if I walk along the x-axis, all right, all the y values never change. So that means all the y value got to be 0. All right, if I walk along the y-axis, simply go up and down, that means my y value, like the point D, will change, but the x value remains the same. Okay, because I never had to go right or left, so my x value got to still be 0. So on the y-axis, all the x values are zeros. Okay, keep this two thing in mind. Okay, we will need this in other lecture video. All right, so this is how we plot points, and this is how we identify points. All right, let's try a different kind of problem. All right, so why are we learning how to plot points? Because ultimately, what we want to learn is learn how to graph, okay? Learn how to graph what we so-called the equation of the line, okay? So that means every equation is a line. Every line has an equation, all right? So we're gonna use, so in order to draw a line on the x and y axis, I got to have at least 2 points, okay? For example, got to have 2 points from the equation so I can connect them with the line. So that's why the first thing we do here is learn how to plotting points. Now we're gonna learn how to find the missing order pair, find the missing coordinates using the equation that they are giving me. So this example, determine the missing coordinate in the order pair, -2, question mark, so that it will satisfy the given equation. All right, so all we have to do here is plug in what they are giving me so I can solve for the missing value. So this problem tells me that x is going to be -2, so we substitute -2 for x. So the only missing value is my y. So then I actually will have a complete, once I find y, I will get a complete point that I can use to plot. So let's check it out. 2x, now it becomes 2 times -2 minus y equal to 3. All right, 2 times -2 is -4 minus y equal to +3. So since I'm solving for y and y is negative, I'm going to move my y over, move the +3 back to the left. So -y come to the right side, become positive. -4 still -4. When +3 come over, it becomes negative. So combine like term again, -4 minus 3 is going to be -7. All right, so this question mark, the missing value will be -7. So what that means is this -2, -7 is actually a point, okay, on the line. Remember, the equation of the line means the equation is the line is the equation, okay? So back in Module 9, we learned how to solve linear equation in one variable. Now, what we are looking at is called the linear equation in two variables, okay? Still linear equation because the variables are to the first power. That's what the word linear means. The word linear also means a straight line. But now I got two different kind of variables. So that actually established two different dimensions. One variable is one dimension. One dimension, perfect example, is a straight line. That's why in Module 9, we learned how to, when we did the interval notation, we graph everything on a number line. But now by adding another variable y or adding another dimension, we actually end up with two number lines or two different dimensions, okay? So that's what's going on right now with module 10. So eventually I want to learn how to graph this line, okay? So in order to graph this equation of the line, I got to be able to find 2 points using the equation that is given me. All right, that's why step 2 out of 2, determine the missing coordinate again. So this time, the problem tells me the y value is going to be -1. Let's find the missing x value. So all I'm going to do is plug in -1 where my y is. Okay, let me write this thing out. So my equation says 2x minus y equal to 3, right? Now I need to substitute -1 for y. Remember now, my second term on the left side of the equal sign is a -y. -y means -1 times y. So that will be -1 times, substitute -1 for y, so that will be -1 in the parenthesis. Because now the same second term will now becomes +1. -1 times -1 is +1. So this is 2x plus 1 equal to 3. All right, to get 2x by itself, I got to initially move the +1 over. So that's 2x equal to 3 minus 1. So this is going to be 2x equal to 2. Divide both sides by coefficient 2. My answer, x equal to 1. So this missing value, question mark, is going to be 1. All right, so this coordinate now is called 1, -1, is also another point on the line. All we needed is be able to figure out 2 points using the equation, because once I got 2 points, then I can connect them. I can connect my 2 points, okay, with a line. But once I drew a line technically have infinite number of points on them. But all I needed is come up with 2 points in order to draw the line. All right, so that's what we are trying to do in module 10.1 and 10.2. All right, you might have seen the table before. Find the missing value again, but write them as a table form. So same thing. So we read the table left and right. So this is basically 1 point. Okay, this x is telling me is 2. I need to find the missing y value. The second point tell me y is -3. Find the missing x value. Okay, so let's substitute 2 for x for my first point. So when x equal to 2, let's find what y is. I don't have to write all that. All right, that will be 6 times 2 plus 3y equal to 9. So that's 12 plus 3y equal to 9. All right, I'm solving for y, and the y is positive. Let it stay. So we can move the positive 12 over to the other side. So that should give me 3y equal to 9, still 9. All right, positive 12 come over, become negative. So that's 3y equal to -3. Divide both sides by 3. Y is equal to -1. So when x equal to 2, it turns out y is -1. All right, let's do the same thing for my second point, except this time I'm substituting -3 for y. So that will be 6x plus 3 times parenthesis -3. Substitute -3 for y equal to 9. So that will be 6x minus 9 equal to 9. All right, since my variable term is positive, so let us stay there. We can move -9 to the other side, which will become positive. So 6x equal to 9 is already 9 on the right side. When the -9 move over, it becomes positive. So that will be 6x equal to 18. Divide both sides by 6, x equal to 3. All right. So now step number 2 out of 2 is plotting the resulting okay, which is plotting the resulting set of order pairs. So there are a couple different ways we can do this on the homework. One of them is enter coordinates, where the computer will automatically plot the points for you. Okay. And sometimes when we enter 2 points, it will plot both points and draw a line for us. Another way is us plotting the 2 points. Okay, so this problem, we would just need to plot these 2 points. I'm not quite sure whether the homework will automatically draw a line between them, but it will probably do it. But we need to be able to plot these 2 points. Okay, so normally when you have to plot points on the computer, okay, what you do is you put your cursor. Let me use my point here to indicate. All right, you put your cursor on the origin first. Okay, or you can just you can do it by looking at it. First point is 2, -1. So we just use our cursor, go to the right 2 and down 1 and click it right there. Once I click it, it gives me a little dot. It gives me a point. So for the lecture video purpose, I'm always going to use a point. I'm always going to drag my points. All right, second point, 3, -3. So I'm just going to move my cursor to the right 3 and go down 3. So once I reach there, I click on it, and then that will give me another point. So maybe the computer will actually draw the line for me. Maybe it won't. Depends on the problems. Okay. So this right here that I did, this is just a pure plotting point. So they're not going to draw a line. But in 10.2, the homework will begin to draw the line for us. So there you go. This is the equation of the line. All right. And the equation is 6x plus 3y equal to 9. Then this is the line for it. So just remember, every equation has a line, and every line that you see on the graph has an equation associated with it. All right, so that will be it for the brief overview on how to plot points, okay, on the Cartesian coordinate system. Thank you for watching.